Tonight on News 5, Belize braces for another midnight fuel shock as government absorbs $60 million in revenue but warns the price pain isn't over. Plus, growing tension in the north. The cartel-driven shutdown across Mexico begins to ease, and Belizean imports finally start moving again. Also, the Prime Minister urges caution heading into Easter, while the opposition leader tells Belizeans to stay home. A major development in the fight for fair elections. Belizean activist Jerry Enriquez scores a big win as the CCJ revives the case on unequal electoral boundaries. And what began as an online bullying takes a surprising turn as kindness overwhelms cruelty after a concert clip goes viral. The news starts now. Stay with us.
Introducing BB Insurance, built for Belize. Your security, our priority.
Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, we've always proudly celebrated Women's Month. This year, we celebrate women keeping the balance at home, at work, and in their communities. That's why all March long, all women receive 15% off store-wide, from paints to plumbing and everything in between. Plus 30 to 65% off lots more deals on sale and clearance. With trusted experience, top quality products, and service that's second to none, we're here to support women every step of the way. Visit or call us today. Happy Women's Month from all of us at Habet and Abet and Brothers Abet, doing our part to balance the scales.
And welcome to News 5 Live for Tuesday, March 24th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tensions at the Belize-Mexico border are finally easing tonight after several tense days in which cartel activity on the Mexican side brought cross-border trade to a crawl. For most of the week, criminal groups reportedly held a northern trade route hostage, blocking shipments, demanding payments, and threatening anyone trying to move goods through the corridor. Mexican customs brokers were warned not to process cargo, and Belizean importers were left in limbo as trucks sat idle. The fallout was immediate. Food products, construction materials, and key commercial supplies that Belize depend on from Mexico were suddenly struck on the wrong side of the border. The disruption also exposed just how vulnerable Belize's supply chain is, especially with cartel violence intensifying in Quintana Roo. Prime Minister John Briceño says his government jumped into action, reaching out directly to top-level Mexican officials, including the office of the president. Those conversations led to rapid intervention, with Mexican authorities deploying additional security forces to stabilize the corridor and get trade flowing again. Here's more from the Prime Minister.
Well, we're very grateful that it has opened, and it's very concerned. We've been dealing this at the highest level. We've been dealing directly with the government but also I have direct contact with the office of the president to be able to address these things, because you know sometimes in the bureaucracy things get stuck there and it does not move fast enough. A few months ago I had sent Ambassador Oliver Del Cid along with our Ambassador Oscar Arnold to meet with Lázaro Cárdenas, who is the Chief of Staff in the President's office, for us to be able to, for them to be able to give him a first-hand view of what really is taking place at the border. You know, when in bureaucracies we give a report and it goes up the channel, it's always been sanitized that by the time it gets to the highest channels, probably you do not get a full understanding of what's really is happening. And so for me, it was important for us to be able to get directly to the president. That's when they sent in, I think about 10,000 troops came in, federal and state, and they went and they managed to go after a lot of these people. Of course, as soon as they left, and these guys come back again. We have been talking again to the officials at the border, and we felt that we're not getting anywhere, and so we again sent a message directly to the president's office a few days ago. So I'm happy to note that this has been cleared up. But I think that sooner or later I will probably have to try to see if I can have a meeting with the president to say that this matter is getting really out of control, and that they would probably see if we could urge them if they could put a permanent presence at the border to ensure that trade can be facilitated in and out of Mexico.
As the government races to keep the northern border situation under control, the opposition is raising its own alarms, warning that cartel activity near Belize's doorstep has grown into a serious national security threat. Opposition leader Tracy Panton isn't mincing words. She says this is far bigger than politics, calling the developments deeply troubling and admitting it's the kind of issue that keeps her up at night. Panton is now urging a united, bipartisan response to confront what she describes as an existential threat to Belize's safety and economic stability. Here's how she puts it.
If there's something that keeps me up at night, it has to be what I see as the infiltration of a criminal element from Mexico in our border communities. We refer to them commonly as the Mexican cartels. They seem to have seized our operations at the border and the functioning of our free zone, Corozal free zone in Santa Elena, at the Santa Elena border. They dictate when goods come in. They're charging arbitrary fees for containers to be moved. Importers of necessary food items, including fruits and vegetables, have been threatened directly that if they move those containers without the clearance of the cartels, they will be killed. And so it is seriously disconcerting what is happening there. I have received reports from members of the business community who are very concerned now about bringing goods by land. It doesn't only happen with importers for basic goods, but it is happening with our car dealers who are fighting to make a living, and they bring these cars in so that they can have some kind of cash flow and revenue generation for themselves and their families. So it's a big deal. It's a big issue, and it needs to be addressed. There has to be a national response. You know, there are certain things you don't play politics with.
It turns out those sleepless nights aren't just on the opposition side. Prime Minister John Bersenio says the rise of cartel influence in the region is weighing heavily on him too, calling it one of the issues that literally keeps him up at night. While Belize continues working with Mexican authorities to keep the northern border stable, PM Briceño is clear that this is not a fight the country can handle alone. He says Belize now needs stronger backing from the United States to help confront the expanding reach of organized crime in the region. Here's more from the Prime Minister.
We have to continue to engage the American government. That, I remember way back when I became Prime Minister in 2020, at my first meeting with the people at the officials at the U.S. Embassy, the question to me was, what is it that keeps you awake at night? And I told them the cartels, because we cannot afford to get them into this country, because the minute they get in, it will be very difficult to get them out. So we've been appealing to them to help us. And I hope that pretty soon they'll be able to give us, they've been giving some help, but we need some serious help with equipment, with intelligence, with transportation, mobility, to be able to move from the north to the south, in a very short time. And so that is the real help that we need. And on the Mexican side, we need to be able now to, from the President's office, for them to put the pressure here at the border, and also probably the Americans can help put pressure on the Mexican, on the Mexican government to say that, whilst you're looking at the north, you have to ensure that you could keep the south clear from these people, because once they get in, it's difficult to get them out.
With Easter weekend almost here, concerns are rising about cross-border travel. Belizeans typically flock to Chetumal, Cancun, and other Quintana Roo hotspots. But this year, the trip comes with heightened security worries. We asked Prime Minister John Briceño and opposition leader Tracy Panton what they'd tell Belizeans still planning to head north. Briceño is urging caution, reminding travelers to stay alert. Panton is much firmer, saying that with the risks right now, it may not make sense to leave the safety and beauty of home. Here's what they had to say.
I think, if you really have to go, then make sure that you go and be careful. Don't be out in areas where you don't think you should belong. Keep into the tourist areas. Those tourist areas are more safe than the others, than other areas. So just keep where you think where usually is safe. And I think generally, I'm hoping that you will be fine.
I don't know who in their right minds, with the conditions that now exist at the border, would want to cross the border, leave the freedom and peaceful land that we have here to vacation in Mexico, considering all that is happening. It is very dangerous. It's very dangerous in the Quintana Roo area, where Belizeans often traffic, right? We go to Playa del Carmen, Belizeans go to Cancun, we go to Chetumal, but that is where the cartels are concentrated. And it seems, from the reports I have heard, that Belizeans are not off limits, that they're being targeted.
After the break, a key redistricting meeting is now on the calendar as Prime Minister Briceño downplays the CCJ's ruling, calling it academic. Stay with us.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "Therefore thus will I do unto thee, O Israel, and because I will do this unto thee, prepare to meet thy God, O Israel." Ends preparation. A person prepares for an education, a job, a family, the building of a home, and even retirement. God also instructs us to prepare to meet Him. How sad it is that people prepare for everything but this one inevitable encounter. Some time ago, my wife and I were driving around in a city when we passed the city cemetery. To our amazement, we looked over and saw a big black baby grand piano sitting in the middle of the cemetery, located over a grave. The piano had been carved out of black granite and served as a tombstone. I was totally amazed. I had never seen anything like that before. It was obvious that some person was a lover of music, and especially their piano. They loved it so much that they had made prior arrangements in preparation for the piano to be placed over their grave when they died. I drove by that day wondering if they had also made adequate preparation for meeting God and spending eternity in heaven with Him. The Bible teaches us that meeting God demands preparation. Have you prepared to meet your God? Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
The banking system in Belize continues to advance, and with it, the way we access foreign currency is transforming. Whether you're a business paying suppliers abroad or an individual paying for tuition, medical bills, or vacation, approvals to access foreign currency are now easier and can be done at an authorized dealer, your domestic bank. The Central Bank of Belize has expanded the exchange control authority of domestic banks. Now, Atlantic Bank, Belize Bank, Heritage Bank, and the National Bank can approve and sell foreign currency requests up to 100,000 Belize dollars per transaction, all without prior central bank approval. That means no need to visit the central bank for approvals that are under 100,000 Belize dollars, saving you time, reducing delays, and making the process simpler. And in the case of traveling, you can now get up to the equivalent of 20,000 Belize dollars in foreign currency cash directly from your bank. While the central bank allows these limits, always check with your bank first to confirm availability. For all transactions, simply submit the required documents to your domestic bank. To learn more, contact your domestic bank, scan the QR code, or visit centralbank.org.bz. The Central Bank of Belize, committed in service to the people of Belize.
Every connection we make is more than just a signal. It's a student unlocking a future through digital education. A young mind daring to dream bigger. Our culture shared with the world in real time. And everyday heroes answering the call of civic duty. When we connect with Digi, we empower Belize.
When the job demands more, Milwaukee Power Tools are designed to handle the toughest jobs on the construction site. If it's speed, durability, and performance you need, Milwaukee is the perfect choice. For unstoppable power at an unbeatable price, make it Milwaukee. Nothing but heavy duty. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
What happens when you step off the edge?
Too late to back out now. He said I'm ready. No, I'm not.
And land somewhere unexpected. Sometimes it breaks you open. Wild at root,
That is very bitter.
but sweet on the tongue. Where history calls out, and you answer with open arms. This isn't just a journey. It's across borders.
That was amazing!
Week 6 of the NABL season showcases 3 flaming matchups this weekend. On Friday night in Dangriga, the Dream Ballers look to bounce back after an heartbreaking loss and take it to the Mopan Trojans. Then, on Saturday night in Corozal, the Spartans try yet again to get their first win against the undefeated #1 team in the league, the Orange Walk Running Rebels. And in Belize City,
them no like me, I mean I like them.
a full-fledged clash as the number 2 team in the league, the San Pedro Tiger Sharks, try to stay undefeated against the loaded Belize City Defenders. Entertainment by the NEBL girls, giveaways, and the halftime $5,000 National Sports Council Shooting Challenge. So see you this weekend for an NEBL weekend, sponsored by the Government of Belize.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has jolted Belize's election fairness debate, delivering a big win for activists Jeremy Enriquez and senior counsel Anan Ramlogan. On March 23rd, the CCJ reinstated their appeals, previously thrown out by the Court of Appeal on a technicality. Enriquez first challenged Belize's electoral boundaries in February 2025, arguing they violate the Constitution's promise of equal representation. His push to delay the general elections went nowhere. Justice Tawanda Handora rejected the injunction and hit Ramlogan with a rare personal wasted costs order, sparking accusations of judicial misconduct. The Court of Appeal later said the duo filed their appeals too early and struck them out, but the CCJ bluntly disagreed. The judges ruled that technical timing shouldn't block access to justice and tossed out the costs order against Ramlogan, calling it unjustified. It's a major turnaround in a case that's now as much about fairness in the courtroom as it is about fairness at the polls. Earlier today, Jeremy Enriquez told us what this decision means for the fight to ensure every Belizean's vote counts equally.
I have committed myself to being in this for the long haul, for justice to be in Belize. The end goal is that we want to see our electoral divisions aligned in accordance with the Constitution, and I have my eyes fixed on that. All these technicalities served as hurdles and barriers, but we keep crossing them, and we're going to move on and to see that we achieve fair electoral divisions in Belize. So I'm committed to that. It's been quite a struggle, as Senior Counsel Ramlogan mentioned. It also involves a lot of financial resources that we have to try to get to support our for filing, for traveling up and down Belize City, for attorney fees. In fact, Senior Counsel has been doing this without any compensation thus far, taking on this for a long time. And so we have managed with little financial support from the public, and I'm grateful for that. But I will encourage people to please, this is on behalf of our country. We need to be able to support this cause for the benefit of the country.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister John Bersenio is brushing off the Caribbean Court of Justice's latest ruling in the Jeremy Enriquez redistricting case, calling it mostly academic at this stage. The CCJ reaffirmed that Belize's electoral boundaries urgently need updating, an issue tied up in lawsuits and public debate for years. But Bersenio says the government is already moving. He notes that the redistricting effort is underway, with a key review meeting set for next week as the administration pushes to meet its own end-of-year deadline.
The CCJ ruling on the Jeremy Enriquez case in terms of the redistricting, is it a moot point because the government is already planning to proceed with that?
Well, I have not seen the report, but I think it's, at this point, you're right, it's moot because we are already working on the redistricting. And I'm still pushing. I should have a meeting with Minister Musa on Monday to get an update as to how is it going, so that we can ensure that we can keep our timeline, that we hope that can be in place by the end of this year.
We also heard from senior counsel Anan Ramlogan, the man who has been driving this legal fight side by side with Jeremy Enriquez from day one. Ramlogan broke down what the CCJ's ruling really means and where the case goes from here. Here's how he explained the impact and the road ahead.
The Court of Appeal struck out and dismissed all the appeals we filed. We filed an appeal against the refusal to grant the injunction. We filed an appeal against the wasted cost order, and we filed an appeal against the judgment he delivered in the bias application without giving anyone an opportunity to be heard. The Court of Appeal struck off all three on technical grounds raised by the attorneys representing the Attorney General and the Election and Boundaries Commission. It was in those circumstances we immediately had no choice but to appeal to the Caribbean Court of Justice. We applied for special leave, and to our great surprise and delight, the Caribbean Court of Justice said that they will treat the applications for special leave as the hearing of the appeal on an urgent basis. Those appeals were heard. Mr. Peter Knox, King's Counsel from the English Bar, represented me in the wasted cost order appeal, and I represented Mr. Enriquez in the other two appeals. Today, I'm pleased to announce that mere weeks after the hearing, the Caribbean Court of Justice has issued orders allowing two of the appeals. They have allowed the appeal with respect to the refusal to grant the injunction, and they have allowed the appeal with respect to the wasted cost order imposed against me. The appeal in respect of the bias matter, they have remitted that to the judge for him to decide.
So what does this latest CCJ victory actually mean for Jeremy Enriquez's push to get the Briceño administration moving fast on redistricting? On paper, the rulings clear several major hurdles that were holding back his case. But in practice, the finish line might not be as far off as it seems. Prime Minister John Briceño has already said his government intends to complete the redistricting exercise before the end of the year. If that timeline holds, the legal showdown Enriquez has been fighting could shift from a constitutional battle to a question of political will. That raises the real question. Was this entire legal war a necessary push for electoral fairness, or does it now feel like a high-stakes procedural fight that may end up being more academic than transformative?
Well, it does take us closer. It's a step closer to our day, to have our day in court to ventilate these matters. It is a significant step closer because at the end of the day, the wisdom of the judgment from the Caribbean Court of Justice will have a radiating and illuminating effect on the substantive battle that we are about to embark upon with respect to the issue of redistricting. It is a fact and a complaint that we have that the justice system seems to be plagued by a sense of lethargy and inefficiency that is not moving as quickly as it should. So I share that concern, and I do so openly. In my respectful view, no justice system should have judgments in reserve for more than 6 months. An application should be listed within a month of being filed, and it should be determined within 3 months to 6 months of being filed. We have been waiting for 6 months now in the matter with the Belize Peace Movement.
Either way, the CCJ's decisions have reshaped the playing field. Now all eyes are on whether the government's promise turns into action and whether Enriquez believes the momentum is finally swinging his way. San Pedro police make a big find in the mangroves, an undercover stash packed with drugs. We'll tell you what they uncovered next. But first, here's the latest forecast for today.
everybody. Smart leading everything. Smart give you everything. Smart offer everything. Smart give you everything. North to the east and the south and the west. Smart are the best. Darling, double up my data and give me all the text. In fact, give me a plan for my family. Unlimited calls, so me like it. And Smart make everybody feel happy. Bringing people together, me want it now. Smart got love for everybody. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. More bundles, data plan. Me want my smartphone, internet in my hand. Cause me want my Smart plan. Want it right now. Smart. Stay connected. Stay happy.
Are you a forward-thinking farmer ready to adopt climate-smart practices? The future of farming is resilient, sustainable, and profitable, and we are here to help you achieve just that. Whether cultivating half an acre or 200 acres, DFC offers affordable financing options and a matching grant up to $12,000 for Window 1 and up to $60,000 for Window 2 to help make your farm climate smart, withstand unpredictable weather patterns, and adopt practices that enhance productivity and efficiency. This program is ideal for farmers and cooperatives. Women farmers are highly encouraged to take advantage. Join us in creating a resilient and sustainable agricultural future for Belize. Apply now and take the next step towards a stronger, greener tomorrow.
Belizeans are facing another hit at the pump. At midnight, diesel jumps by $2.50, piling onto last week's 10% hike in regular and premium fuel. The increase is expected to push up transport and food costs, adding more pressure to households and businesses already stretched thin. Prime Minister John Briceño says government has already taken a major cut, giving up $1.25 per gallon in taxes on this shipment, a loss he puts at nearly $60 million. Still, he warns another fuel increase is on the way. Here's more from the Prime Minister.
As it is just now, we are foregoing, I think, at least $1.25 in tax. And that would represent, I think it's over $60 million that we're foregoing. And when we forego $60 million, or what Honorable Lee Mark Chang was talking about, writing it off because it's over $200 million, okay, we could write it off. But where will you get that $200 million to be able to pay the teachers, to pay the BDF, to pay for NHI, to pay Cal Hushner? I mean, there's so many things that we have to do. The money has to come from somewhere. So it's easy to say, cut it. But tell me, as I said to him, tell me where we're going to get the money to be able to plug that hole. I guess we may have to take a hard look at the budget, and maybe there's some projects that maybe we can hold up, hold back until things stabilize. But right now we need to really look as to exactly what is going to happen. So we don't want to just jump the gun before we do that. So we are doing our best as we can to be able to ease the pressure on people.
How long have we been foregoing that 125?
Sorry? No, it's on this one. It's on this new, as I said, the price would have gone up in excess of $3. But because we are cutting the tax by $1, at least about $1.25, that we are just going to go down to less than $3 increase.
This evening, opposition leader Tracy Panton issued a statement that reads, quote, "This increase will hit taxi drivers, water taxi operators, boat owners, bus operators, tour companies, farmers, fisherfolk, entrepreneurs, livestock producers, beverage retailers, and utility providers especially hard. It will raise operating costs across the board, and inevitably those higher costs will be passed on to ordinary Belizean families already struggling under the unbearable weight of the rising prices." End quote. While the cost of diesel is set to go up at midnight, Prime Minister John Briceño is openly criticizing the Department of the Environment for its handling of the Humilde Viajero fuel tanker incident. He says the vessel broke several environmental rules, yet the department still offered an administrative settlement, something he insists should never have happened. Briceño says the DOE jumped the gun before the situation was fully reviewed. He adds that government is now taking a closer look and will ensure everyone involved is held fully accountable. Here's how the Prime Minister responded.
When it was brought to my attention, I said we have to go after this and to go the full length of the law. I called the Attorney General. I said I want you to get involved with this because I'm not going to have allow that because of a simple administrative error or that an attorney can get them off. So when I heard that all of a sudden the DOE jumped the gun and sent them and got an invoice, I don't know how they got an invoice when customs did not get it. And saying, "Come, we'll settle this administratively," they were totally out of their remit. That was not within their purview to be able to do that. Maybe in other matters, they probably could have done that. And so what I've said again, instructed the Attorney General to ensure that an attorney from his office to be fully involved in this to ensure that that we can get to the bottom of this, 2, confiscate this, and then 3, whosoever is in any way available, involved in this and did any illegal activity, that they must be charged to the fullest extent of the law.
Turning to the north and the ongoing controversy in the Sugar Belt, Prime Minister John Briceño says the government is running out of patience with the long-running dispute between the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and Belize Sugar Industries. Despite attempts to help broker a deal, including a proposed support package, cane farmers have rejected the government's offer, keeping the industry locked in a tense standoff. Briceño warns the stalemate is threatening the stability of one of Belize's key economic sectors. And while government understands the industry's importance, he says it can't keep bailing out the sugar sector every time trouble arises. Other industries also need help, and repeated financial rescues are creating growing frustration.
All I was hoping is how we can try to bring this to an end. And if they feel that they want to continue with that, then that's on them. The problem is that what we have as a cabinet, that we can't continue bailing out the BSCFA. They have come several times for us to bail them out, and we have done so because they play an important role in the sugar industry. But whenever we do that, colleagues then start to tell us, well, how about tour operators, and how about the fisher folks, how about these people that have to buy more boats or down south, the people in agriculture down south, the cacao people. They are always reminding me during the fires, a lot of small cacao farmers lost their produce, and we did not manage to give them the help that they needed. So it creates a sense of frustration and jealousy within cabinet, and I don't know for how long I'll be able to do that, because then the rest of us say, hold on, before you do that, we also have to give to the other areas. And I also like to make the point that whenever the government gives monies to one association, the other associations are saying, well, we're also taxpayers, so we also deserve a part of that money. So I was trying to see how we could find a way to put an end to this, but if they feel that they want to continue with the case, that's fully their right.
As the stalemate drags on, the Prime Minister says government can't keep footing the bill while other sectors wait their turn for help. Prime Minister John Bersenio is speaking bluntly about opposition leader Tracy Panton's budget presentation. He says her long contribution lacked substance and didn't land, even with members of her own party. Bersenio also pushed back on Panton's claim that he mocked her disability, addressing the criticism directly. Here's how he responded when pressed on both issues.
I guess she had to find something to say, and she spoke for over 2 hours. And I'm going to be kind that she's doing as best as she can as the leader of the opposition to try to come up with some kind of rebuttal. But even people from within her own party have not been satisfied, and they've been savage to her with her presentation. So I will leave it to them, and I think I will leave it as that.
Will you apologize to Panton? She said you mocked her quote-unquote disability.
I don't remember I was mocking her about her disability. I mean, she's mocking me about grandstanding.
What is that different?
So, you know.
I think it is wholly unacceptable that the highest office holder in this country thinks that it's fair game to ridicule or poke fun at a person's disability or challenge or medical setback that they may have. If the Prime Minister of this country can get away with bullying, because that is what it amounts to, it's bullish behavior. If he can get away with disrespecting and disregarding persons who are differently able in this country, what can we expect from anybody else?
There's more news after the break, so stay tuned.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
Haven't updated your information recently? Well, kick off the new year as a winner. RF&G Insurance is giving you a free chance to win every month. Entering is easy. Just chat with us on WhatsApp and update your information. That's it. You'll be automatically entered into our monthly raffle for a chance to win awesome prizes. Don't wait. Message us on WhatsApp and update your info today. RF&G Insurance. It pays to get it right.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the win, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
This morning, around 8:30, police and intelligence teams carried out a joint operation just north of San Pedro town. Their search took them into a mangrove area along the seaside, an area that has become a frequent hideaway for contraband. There, officers made a major discovery. Tucked away in the mangroves was a large black crocus bag. Inside, police found 29 tightly wrapped rectangular bricks, each one packed with cannabis. All told, the stash weighed in at 17.4 kilograms, or just over 38 pounds. Investigators labeled and sealed the drugs on site, then deposited them as found property as the investigation moves forward. Authorities have not yet indicated who may be responsible, but the discovery is being treated as a significant drug interception for the area. Social media can turn a moment of joy into a storm of judgment in seconds, and one young woman from Dangriga learned that the hard way. Her night out at a concert, just dancing and having fun, suddenly went viral for all the wrong reasons when a video surfaced showing her in sneakers a few sizes too big. The jokes came fast. The ridicule came faster. For a moment, it looked like she'd become the internet's latest punchline. But then, something unexpected happened. Belizeans pushed back. What started as online mockery quickly flipped into an outpouring of compassion, encouragement, and solidarity. People from across the country and even beyond rallied behind her, reminding everyone that kindness can trend just as quickly as cruelty. News 5's Paul Lopez takes a closer look at how a moment meant to embarrass one young woman ended up revealing something far more powerful about the Belizean spirit.
Social media can lift you up just as fast as it can tear you down. A concert goer learned that when a clip of her dancing in oversized sneakers went viral and sparked a wave of mocking comments. But the bullying didn't last long. Belizeans quickly rallied behind her, flooding the platforms with support and drowning out the negativity.
First of all, I didn't know that I was being bullied. None at all. I thought when my best friend tell me about it, I thought it was a joke. As in a joke that she just, because she liked to make joke with me and stuff.
But the negative comments kept on piling up under videos that were captured at the event and posted on social media.
Then I noticed a lot of people been telling me about the bad comments and let me not to worry about it and make me be positive and know what people have to say.
Garbutt admits that the comments did take a mental and emotional toll on her. She says, however, that she was always taught to have confidence despite what people may say. As for the sneaker, Garbutt says it was a gift that she was proud to have received.
As many people know in Griga, many people know that I am like someone that always love to dance in the ring or the stage where they have, and whatever punter events they have, whatever band they have, I used to always be there. Not all the time, but most of the time. And that's the reason why I went on stage.
Once people began calling out the bullying aimed at Natalie, the tone on social media flipped almost overnight. Supporters didn't just defend her, they stepped in to make a real difference. The event organizer reached out directly, offering her a cash gift and making it clear that they wanted no part of the bullying culture that targeted her. Then came even more generosity. A well-known online fundraiser rallied followers to buy Natalie a new phone and add a few new outfits to her wardrobe. And they weren't the only ones. Others have quietly reached out, offering help of their own.
I wouldn't think that nobody would have done this to me, but it already happened and I can't change it. The more they hate is the more that I have more blessings. I get more blessings. And the shoes that they were bullying me about was a birthday gift from my mom. It's not everyone that is strong like me or that will do certain stuff or left it as that.
And as messages of support, donations, and kindness continue to pour in, she hopes her story reminds others to think carefully before they post and to stand up for those who can't always stand up for themselves. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A grim discovery along the Mopan River shocked San Jose Socots this morning. 35-year-old Hector Mejia, who villagers had been searching for overnight, was found dead just hours after the village chairman appealed for help. Mejia was last seen on Sunday in Benque Viejo, drinking with friends. By Monday night, when he failed to return home, concern grew. Village Chairman Armando Cocom took to social media, urging anyone with information to speak up. Then, in an unexpected twist, Cocom himself found Mejia's body. Around 8 this morning, during a routine taxi run, he spotted something on the riverbank and realized it was the man the entire village had been looking for. This afternoon, Mejia's brother shared how the family is coping with the sudden loss.
Well, I don't really understand, just happened, it just shocked the family that it happened, but I wish he was still living, right? But it shocked the family and I feel really sad.
Yeah, so any details you've received so far?
Well, I haven't received any details, but I received that he was having a good time with some friends, and afterwards he got missing for 2 days, and afterwards nothing. So thanks to the mayor, the alcalde from the village, he helped me out, and I really appreciate the people that helped me out look for him. And well, at least we find him in a complete body, and we will see what we can do now. Hector is always a good person, and he had never had problems with no one. He's been friendly. He always do his drumming. He likes to sing, and he also do his arts. But I don't think people will try to hurt him or something or if anything. But sometimes they always have bad mind people too. But I will see. But because we are still waiting for the autopsy, I'm toxic that you'll see in the doctor. Right now, the police say they're looking for the autopsy. They'll see what they're gonna do, and they're trying to help me out too because the incident is a little bit rare. They said that it's gonna be somebody could have been hurt him, or he could be just jungled by himself. Yeah. So we don't have no specific details as yet.
Investigators say that no injuries were identified on Mejia's body. Belize's new national bus company is only a month in, and while the rollout hasn't been smooth, Transport Minister Luis Zabanes says the system is finally starting to take shape. Bringing several private operators under one umbrella was always going to be messy, and the early days proved it. From uneasy staff transitions to mechanical hiccups with old buses the company inherited. But Zabanes says these are normal startup pains. Despite skepticism and a few rough patches, the buses are running, the routes are stabilizing, and the team is learning fast. He says the real story isn't the bumps, it's the progress. Here's more from the Transport Minister.
Yeah, it's been a little bumpy in some places, if I could use that term, no pun intended. And what we've had is really, I think, two main areas of challenge. One is that you're getting 17 different cultures, if you will, coming together. So that has taken some time. We've had our people in the HR department of the new bus company working overtime to assure our people, because you know, in something new like that, you would not be surprised that there's some anxiety. The anxiety first had to do with, well, will we get pay in the same way we used to get pay? And that has, we've had now, I think 3 weekly payrolls have already taken place. And so with all of that, it's ironing out the kinks, making sure that people's account numbers match up and all of that. So I think that's one side. The other one is that now we're taking on a lot of buses from different operators who have maintained their buses in different ways. And so that has been a challenge. So you would have seen a continuance of breakdowns on the highways, for which, of course, we are working very hard to address those issues. So all in all, I think that after almost 4 weeks now, I would say that the National Bus Company is moving forward.
The Blue Economy Minister is sounding the alarm tonight, warning that the sargassum threat is growing fast. We'll tell you what's driving the surge after the break.
Kite flying is fun, but it can also be dangerous. Fly kites safely by following these tips. Never use wire, metallic thread, or wire-reinforced strings. You could be electrocuted. Remember, even a safely built kite can cause a power outage if it gets caught in a power line. Always use paper, plastic, or wood to build kites. Never fly kites near power lines, in the path of traffic, aircrafts, or near highways. Always fly kites with a responsible adult, in open areas, in dry weather, and with clear visibility. Never attempt to remove your kite from a power line. Always call BEL at 0800-235-2273 if your kite gets caught in a power line. Belize Electricity Limited. We care about your safety.
Here's what's coming up on Open Your Eyes. Belize Red Cross gets ahead of the Easter weekend and joins us with important safety guidelines to help you and your family celebrate responsibly. Also, Digi speaks on launching their 2026 scholarship program for incoming high school and sixth formers so they can continue to move new scholars forward. Then, we talk about protecting what makes Belize so special as the Protected Areas Conservation Trust, PACT, shares why investing in nature today means a stronger and greener tomorrow. Next, creativity takes center stage when designer Damian Moore showcases how he's cultivating bold creativity through his Wired for Change costume classes. And the adrenaline is building as we count down to the Pro FC 21 Belize MMA Championship, where Belize's toughest fighters prepare to step into the stage for an unforgettable showdown. Don't miss out tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. on Open Your Eyes and start your morning right.
Your time is valuable. That's why SARA is coming. A modern revenue authority built to make managing your taxes simpler, faster, and more convenient than ever before. With SARA, you can expect improved services, from quicker responses to queries to faster processing of your tax refunds. No long waits. Filing or paying your taxes? With SARA, you'll be able to do it securely online at any time, from anywhere, thanks to us placing a greater focus on digital convenience and secure digital records. The SARA will also commit to consistent and fair application of tax laws via a risk-based audit and compliance strategy and increased data-driven reforms. With SARA, most of your tax business will be handled online, saving you time to focus on what matters most: your business, your family, your life. And if you need in-person help, SARA will still have staff ready to assist you at all satellite offices countrywide. SARA, tax services made simpler, faster, and more convenient for you.
Connection isn't something you switch on. It's something you build together.
Connected through culture.
Culture isn't preserved in silence. It's kept alive through participation.
Connected through education.
Education doesn't always look like a classroom. Sometimes it looks like someone taking the time to teach and someone else choosing to learn.
Connected through sports.
Before the wins, before the applause, there's belonging. Here, young people learn more than how to play. They learn how to stand together.
Connected through community.
Community isn't a campaign, it's showing up. Not once, but every time it matters.
Connected through you.
Behind every connection is a person who cares. People who listen. People who stay. We don't just connect services, we connect you to your world.
Connected through every chapter.
Smart, bringing people together.
Pressure from the U.S. continues to build over Belize's use of the Cuban Medical Brigade. But the Briceño administration isn't saying much. With talk of possible visa restrictions and growing scrutiny from Washington, the issue has become a diplomatic tightrope. Belize trying to protect long-standing ties with Cuba while managing its relationship with the United States. Today, when asked again, Prime Minister John Briceño said only that talks are ongoing and no final decision has been made. Here's that exchange.
Have talks progressed about the Cuban Medical Brigade, PM? I know it's a daily.
I know it's well, as I said, the foreign minister, I think, went at length to give you an explanation, and it remains the same. And I think the Minister of Health said the same. I mean, it's, as I said, delicate negotiations, and we're in contact with the Cuban government and the Cuban Brigade. And I know when we meet with the Americans, they also bring to our attention, their concerns about it. So I'm hoping that we can work out something more sooner than later.
So last thing, Panton said that the Americans threatened GOB with visa sanctions over the Cuban Brigade.
Well, let's leave it as that. Now when the time comes, but we have seen what has happened in other islands.
Someone said an announcement would be made by Thursday.
No, there's no such thing.
Coastal communities are bracing once again. Another heavy surge of sargassum is heading for Belize's shores. The National Meteorological Service is warning that San Pedro, Key Cocker, Hopkins, and Placencia could all feel the strain in the coming days. And San Pedro isn't waiting around. On Monday, the town council rolled out a new plan to place sargassum corrals along the shoreline, hoping to give hotels and businesses some relief from the non-stop cleanup costs. That same day, Minister of Blue Economy Andrew Perez took the issue to the National Assembly, calling sargassum one of Belize's most urgent environmental challenges and outlining the government's strategy to tackle it head-on.
No discussion on our blue economy today would be complete without addressing one of the most pressing and visible challenges affecting our coastal communities, the growing phenomenon of sargassum. Across the Caribbean and here in Belize, sargassum influx have increased in frequency and intensity. For communities like San Pedro and Kikaker, Hopkins, Placencia, and other coastal communities, it affects our beaches. It impacts tourism. It disrupts fishing activities. It places pressure on public health. Mr. Speaker, this government is not treating sargassum as a seasonal inconvenience, We are treating it as a national priority. Through the Ministry of Blue Economy and Marine Conservation, working with the Ministry of Tourism, we are advancing a long-term scalable national response, including effective collection systems, environmentally sound disposals, conversion and value creation opportunities. Because even in challenge, this government sees opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. Don't forget to tune in tonight for episode 2 of Across Borders. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.